I want to talk about something that's been weighing pretty heavily on me. And I wonder if you thought about it as well. And maybe this conversation will make us feel a little better. Basically, boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z have generally led very promiscuous lifestyles. It's kind of the norm to have a lot of sexual partners and act that way and dress uh, in a very provocative manner. This has kind of been the norm of these generations. And of course, people who are more on the right wing tend to hold such action accountable to a degree and tend to judge and throw shame and, that thought over there. And people, of course, have free will and the ability to choose how to act and behave and what to do. But I wonder how much choice someone has in their future actions when they were exposed to porn at 11 or 7 or 5. I did a Twitter poll last year that asked when you were exposed to porn, and my lowest category was 5, between the ages of 5 and 7, and people were like younger. Heartbreaking. Let's say you grow up and you're exposed to porn under the age of 10, and then you go to school and girls are dancing to the Lady Marmalade soundtrack, which is literally about having sex. Grade 6. Yeah, grade 6. These are girls that just might have started puberty, and the teachers are like, powerful and strong. And this isn't just girls. I have so many male friends who are in a cycle of porn addiction, sex addiction, just enamored with and controlled by lust. And they know it's bad and they know it doesn't help them. They know it doesn't benefit the people they're sleeping with. And they just can't seem to get out of it. And millennials specifically grew up with things like MTV, where the top song for like 3 years straight is Dirty by Christina Aguilera, where she's basically in an orgy. Like the video is very, very explicitly sexual. And this is what middle school girls are dancing at public school organized dances and rubbing up on boys and stuff. This is how millennials grew up. And if that's not how you grew up and you're in the same age category, thank God. That's awesome. But a lot of people I know, including myself, grew up where that was normal, even at school. So, how much are our choices shaped by how damaged our psyche has been from the age of, let's say, 10 by pornography, explicit material on television constantly, and horrendous peer pressure that reinforces all of this in public schools? I grew up where my peers thought that watching porn was totally okay and everybody did it. And now the Gen Z is growing up thinking that making porn is totally okay and everybody does it. See Tumblr or Instagram. At least Tumblr recently banned that. Instagram, you guys know you have underage girls on there, right? Zucky doesn't care. I just look back to when I was growing up, like in high school, and how normal it was for kids to just talk about sex and porn and the people they're sleeping with. And people were judged on how few partners they had, like especially in college. That's not healthy. I think even most reasonable left-wing people would say that it's not healthy. It's not even a left-wing or right-wing issue. Porn is a weapon. For one example, Israel used it against Palestine when over occupied territory, they would just play pornography on their televisions all the time. It demoralizes people. It makes people slaves to lust. It destroys the ability to bond. And then you look at a 5-year-old whose brain is so malleable and not formed yet, and these connections are made and reinforced when they see explicit images over and over again. And then they grow up and they become someone like, I don't know, Miley Cyrus. And I bet people like her and a lot of these pop stars in Hollywood were not just exposed to pornography at an early age, but were probably groomed and hurt physically in a sexual way. I would not be surprised. And this kind of comes out every now and then in the media. Oh, this Hollywood actress was raped. That Hollywood actress was raped. This Hollywood actor was groomed and raped. So yeah. Anyways, and please don't give me this crap about porn bringing down rape, because rape has been going down along with all the other crimes in the West pretty steadily. And this is due to a higher living standard for the general population. That's what that's linked to. It's not linked to porn exposure, okay? In fact, I've read claims from social workers that state that they're seeing kids abuse each other at younger and younger ages, like teenagers abusing preteens and preteens abusing little kids. And what they notice is many of them are acting out things they saw in porn. And if you look at any of these websites, the women keep looking younger and younger. And some of you will be like, oh, but men are programmed to like young women. Yeah, young women, not children, okay? Men are attracted to fertility, to youthful looking, fertile looking women. Not girls with almost no breasts that are like 100 pounds and have, pigtails like a little girl. That is grooming. That is grooming the male population to be pedos. And then at the same time, there's this pedo acceptance movement, as though the ones that don't rape kids are some kind of heroes. Because like, if your sexual preference is to rape women and you don't act on it, like you should get a badge, a Nobel Peace Prize. No. Pedophilia is wrong and evil. End of story. And we're being conditioned to have some sort of empathy towards people with evil minds. Okay? This all plays into its own hand, right? It's a psyop on all fronts. And it started very early. It started with sexual liberation and birth control and things that seemed positive for men and women. And look at that with the extension of these privileges. There's a huge amputation of our actual freedom, because many of us have been enslaved to the normalization of promiscuity, sexuality, and now steadily going towards pedophilia. We've just been enslaved to the normalization of this, to our own lusts, and to, unfortunately, other people's lusts, because children they are not sexual and they don't know what's going on, and it's pretty damn evil to expose them to any of this stuff. Honestly, you can't even ban it. Like, it's the internet. People will find it if they want to. You can't even ban the stuff. Maybe you can tax it really heavily so the industry dies down a bit, but I don't know. People will see it if they really want to, and if some asshole wants to show someone pornography, they'll find a way to do it. But I feel like there needs to be more of a conversation about the effects of pornography, especially on young people. Anyone who's struggling with this stuff, I really pray for you, and there's a way out. And don't watch porn. Keep your kids safe from being exposed to that, because this happens when you least expect it. Like, your kid's friend will come over and they'll be on the computer, and the kid's friend will be like, oh, can I show you something? It's as benign as that, but someone showed that kid, or they saw it themselves. In terms of your children, I suggest a public computer space in your home, and I suggest not giving them a laptop ever until they can afford it themselves. And I suggest probably having some conversations about this stuff in an age-appropriate way. And you know your kids, when that time will come. But it's like, it's nothing to be shrugged off or taken lightly. I think it's a weapon. I think it's destroyed many people's lives and hurt entire generations. If any young people are watching, I'm not trying to be preachy. I am basically outlining some observations, basic pattern recognition, guys. I have seen this over and over and over again, and people go through life building up these horrible habits, whether they were traumatized as kids or not, whether they were simply shaped by their environment and this propaganda of, sex is no big deal. They always regret it, and then it's always very difficult to reverse the habits, to stop doing what they're doing. And I have friends who still have trouble correcting this behavior. Anyways, learn from other people's mistakes, protect the kids, and forgive yourself if that is your past, and move forward and lead by example. And if you're struggling with this stuff, even if it's watching pornography, it's a serious thing. It does not lead anywhere positive. Okay. God bless. And yeah, sorry for this incredibly sad video, but love you guys. Take care.